Hello, good afternoon everyone and welcome to SPTV. I'm Indigo Starssed, otherwise known as Indigo Creative Clairvoyant, and this is our special show, Indigo's Oracle. I hope you're all doing well. Where are you tuning in from? I know that, we have viewers around the world. I'm hoping that you can hear well and see well and just be well. It's so important today. The weather is so bleak where I am. So I'm broadcasting from Keynsham between Bath and Bristol in the United Kingdom. And we're just here to lift your spirits. We're here to bring you some lovely words of encouragement and also just make that smile appear on your face. So do please kindly share out our live stream and we can reach more people and make them smile. Thank you, Mary Dixie. We do have liftoff. We are all good. Hello to Suru, Scarborough, Yorkshire. Somewhere I'd always like to go. I've never been there. Sounds really lovely. Lisa Paris, hello and welcome to the show. Kelly McKeating, thank you for being here. That's very kind of you. And I love the little metalhead sign you managed to find there. Kingston and Alison Barton from Somerset. So she's really near to me. We've got Andrea Minari. I've not met you before. Andrea Minari. Kim Brine, lovely to see you. And happy birthday to Mary, of course. I did say happy birthday privately, but it's Mary Dixie's birthday. Thank you for being here. 21 again. Oh, my goodness. Isn't that amazing? Did you go back in a time machine? Oh, Hazel's from Malvern, Worcestershire. I grew up in Malvern. So I lived in Malvern from the age of 3 to the age of 16. Hello, Stacey Shaw. Cold and wet here in Sherwood Forest, but doesn't that sound so romantic? Richard very helpfully says, go inside. Hello, Pamela Roger from Scotland. Lovely to see you here. I recognise that backdrop behind your head. And everyone's saying happy birthday to Mary. That's really lovely. So today we've got something a little bit different. Hello, Daniela. I don't know whether you dyed your hair or wig, but it looks amazing. Keep it, whatever it is. It looks lovely. Hi, Lynn's Cato from Halifax, West Yorkshire. So today I've got two special decks to work with. Now, those of you watched me before, hello Michelle, you're always here. Thank you for being so avid a watcher. It's lovely. And Christine Marius. Today we're going to have some fun with some starseed and some art through the Starstream Oracle decks. I've also got an incredibly special, what is wrong with my words today? Incredible special person that's joining us to give her own wisdom and insight on things that may come up within the reading, not necessarily about you personally, but maybe about other things from other places. So we shall move on. Yeah, we need some suspense music right then. Doo-doo-doo. So no, I don't know. I don't know. What's a suspense? I think Mr. Producer needed a laugh, so I just supplied it to him. Oh, those who watch me know I'm not particularly serious. I'm also terribly bad at shuffling. So if anyone wants to give me a masterclass on how to shuffle oracle cards, I'd be very appreciative. It would be wonderful. Stacey's just saying, pleased to say I'm in my house, nice, warm and dry. Well, that's a good plan because it's tipping it, isn't it? It's tipping it. We're just grey, actually. We're not wet. We're just grey. Is it your daughter? It's not my daughter. Maybe when she's a bit older, we'll be able to include my daughter, but she's only 10. So I tend to just include her every now and then just so that she doesn't feel left out. It's really important. Really important. We also allow our children to develop their own intuition. But also, I think it's important not to steer them down certain ways. So I tend to allow my daughter just to do what she chooses with her stories, with her cards. I also allow her to play with crystals and such like. Okay, so if I can have a VIP, Mr. Producer, I'm going to get you to choose because my brain is like full of starseed wonderful things. I'm going to work first and then we'll bring in the special guest afterwards. Okay. Hello, Mary Dixie. Well, we're going to have a slightly different situation today, so I want you to be really open-minded, Mary. Now, I know this is with you, but I just want to tell you before I begin. So we have a lovely card here, which is from the Art and the Starstream Oracle. I'm hoping I can get it a little bit closer before it disappears. All right. Now, these cards are designed around the idea of Glastonbury. And in this, you've got Arthur and his beautiful Guinevere. I believe it was Guinevere. I hope I got that one right. And it's a song of Bramwell. And it says, sing even if your heart is breaking. In the background, there's a cauldron, and it's just saying that whatever it is that you're feeling down about, whatever it is that's not resonating with you in the world, your song, your voice, your experience of your vibrations, because that's what song is, and universe means actually one song. So just know that that can really help you break through that. I want to say to you that music is really important right now. And I also want to say to you that you have had connection from other worlds and it has been music related for you. I'm just wondering if I can just bring in my special guest now. If I can introduce our dear Kate Buxton, that would be wonderful. Yay! Hello, Kate.
Hiya. Hello.
So Kate's joining me today and she's really going to put her own slant on what she does. I do not want anyone moulded. But really, Kate, one of the things I'd like you to maybe elaborate on, if you can, is the connection of music and the outside world, or the extraterrestrial, the different frequency vibrations of the world. Could you give me a little bit of insight in that? That would be wonderful.
Right. Okay. So music has different types of frequency. And so that would be like a frequency for healing, so there's 7 solfeggio chords. And if you tap into those for what you need, then that's a really good way of healing using frequency. It's like with the singing bowls as well, where they've got seven bowls for 7 chakras. But they're also talking to me about angelic music. So, and what you can do with angels at night is you can put them around your bed and get them to sing over you as you sleep. So that might be a nice thing to try. So when you were talking about that card there, they were like, oh, angelic music, get them to stand around your bed and sing. It's the most amazing sound that you can imagine.
Okay, thank you. So, oh yeah, Safiga chimes. I've actually experienced those. They're absolutely amazing. One of my teachers got a full set. And the other thing I wanted to say about the angelic music is, I think 2018, when I first started broadcasting, I worked with a American psychic. We doubled up a lot, and we actually had on one of our broadcasts, we had the angelic choir come in. Now, the people who watched it saw it. We couldn't find the recording. It should have been on Facebook afterwards. We couldn't find it. But the people who watched it mentioned it. And it was just the most beautiful sound. And neither of us had any music on. I was in my studio. She was in her bedroom. No one was around. And we had this gorgeous, beautiful, just heavenly. It really warmed your heart. It was a beautiful, beautiful feeling.
Yeah, I think the closest thing I've heard to it in human terms would be the harpsichord.
Yes.
If you had choir boys singing with a harpsichord, that would probably be the closest thing that I can liken it to.
And I think it's also got like I've got quite a large amethyst, but it's got that resonation of a really gentle crystal, but a very big crystal. So it's sort of got that feeling that you get with that as well. And the other thing I wanted to say, my own personal experience, when I feel down, I quite often channel sing or a chant in my bath. So I sing to the resonation that the water connects with me. And I find that really does help, because it's like your body knows how to heal, your body knows how to rebalance. And it's just remembering that, I think, is important. So that's beautiful. What would you say, Kate, about asking the angels to come around you? Do you need to request their help, or do you need to send out a thought? How does that work? Or is it your loved ones that you ask to sing around the bed for you?
You need to ask the angels. You have to give them permission to work with you, or they won't.
Okay.
So, yeah, so first you would set your intent to them, but you would also need to give them your permission.
Okay, which is really important, because we all have to have permission in so many things in life, and it's that energetic opening, isn't it, of like, I'm allowing you.
And they're not allowed to interfere with you in any way that you don't previously agree to. So if you want them to work with you, you need to ask them.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I hope that helped Mary. She's just saying music's very important to me. And they woke me with music very early yesterday morning, but it was 2 nursery rhymes and a song from Oklahoma. Is it Wash That Man Out Right Out of My Hair? Is that Oklahoma? I couldn't get back to sleep, so I was up at 4:40 a.m. So it may well have been that there was something you needed to be paying attention to, but I'm sure Kate agrees with me that that's a pretty magical time of the night. And I got woken up at 3:33 and 3 o'clock many times. I really do need my sleep now, and I've asked my guides just to let me sleep, because I won't function otherwise, just because of the hormones and things changing within. Yeah, so Kelly's just saying,
in those nursery rhymes as well. Go through the nursery rhymes and go through the song that was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Even if you need to write it down, there'll be a message in there.
Yeah. The other thing I've experienced as well, Kate, is sometimes spirits send you on a bit of a like a Google journey. So it might be that you need to find, like, one day, I think it was something like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I looked up on the page of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and there was some information I needed on the page just below that post. So never feel that anything you're given has no relevance, because it doesn't. And it might also be a memory link that they're just reminding you you're soothed, like your mother would have done, or your grandmother. So lots and lots of things there. But music's hugely important, and to some degree it's free, comes from your own voice. I did write them down, Mary said. Lovely.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Do you feel that that's
drumming? You can pull the angels through on your drum. That's quite immense. May have pulled a seraphim. That was amazing, because when they sing, they've got completely a different tone.
Okay, lovely. Is the seraphim higher?
Yeah.
And I imagine it's almost, I'm just being shown kind of in my mind as such, but it's almost like the dog whistle thing, that you could barely hear it as a human, that kind of out of reach sound. Does that make some sense? Okay. Not quite non-hearable, but
when I pulled it on my drum, it was so powerful.
Okay.
And it seemed to it's weird, because the drum kind of disappeared and I could only hear them.
Okay, cool. And was that drumming like the heartbeat, like the shaman heartbeat? Was it like a trance drumming?
Start off with something like that, and then just let your drum go.
And did you ask them to step in, or did they just appear? They just appeared.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. And I think it's really important for energy workers to understand that going actually with the flow generally creates the most beautiful craft, much more than following any. I'm not into following rituals. I'm always open about that.
Yeah.
And you know, I just think sometimes like following you, that's what I often say to my students. They say, oh, did I do this right, or did I do, you know, do I need to do something else? I said, just follow you, because you're the guide. And even if you're sat with a psychic or an energy worker, it's still about your own inner, you know, your higher self, your inner child, all these things being part and parcel. It's not necessarily about that other person waving a magic wand at you. So Mary Dixie's saying, I wanted to be a drummer when I was in my teens. We still can be, Mary.
Yeah.
Lots of lovely drums out there. I've got about 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one main drum, and there's 2 other drums that I've got.
Yeah. I'm not using all 5. I just saw them going cheap, and I was like, I must have drums. Well, but anyway, that's another story.
You've got to take it in case someone else does. I mean,
well, this is what,
it's a bit like handbags and shoes, isn't it? You can't have too many.
Yeah. Well, I always think, like, in these situations, like when you're given this gift of something that's a very lovely thing for not very much, that's, you know, not going to hurt my pocket, even if I keep it in my cupboard for 2 years and I meet someone who goes, oh, I'd love a drum, and I can go, there you go, job done.
I've done that.
Yeah.
They had me running around Richmond to pick up a drum about 2-3 years ago. Got it home and went, it's not my drum. But then I did pass it on to someone who absolutely loved it. So it's like, yeah, okay.
I've got a drum sat over there, which I'm going to decorate for someone very special. And it's going to be a lovely surprise. So very, very similar situation. Not quite so much running around, but I did have to sort of go out of my way a little bit. Just a little bit. So I love this. I love the way, like, spirit brings these extra dimensions to our life when we follow kind of our soul self, I suppose, without putting a religion to it or a religious thought to it. It's more, I even opened up the other day, what does spiritual mean to people? And it was really interesting because one person quoted the dictionary, then said it didn't mean that to her anyway, which I thought was really great. Yeah. And then you had about 12 other people write all different things. So at some point I'm going to make an artwork with all these quotes because I just think it really needs to be shown. I think it's really important to follow you. That is the most important thing because, you know, we all know, and we know from many lifetimes and many experiences, I'm sure. And I'm sure, like, a lot of the viewers have these experiences where you feel like, I know something about this, but it's nothing I've ever experienced in this time. It's the most wonderful but bizarre feeling.
Yeah, and spirit take over your teaching to a certain extent. So, like, I found in the beginning, I was going to workshops and classes and whatever, and then after a while, it was like, no, they just took over themselves. And then I got a lot of hindsight learning, which seems to be the way forward at the moment.
Well, one of the interesting things I had with my teachers, and I do have lots of different teachers and lots of different formats, but I don't tend to go for traditional teaching. I tend to go for teaching that's very interactive and not just someone telling me what something is. One of the things I noticed one day when I went to see a mediumship teacher was the energy was identical between the teachers. It was almost like the same person, the same being, the same creature was presenting themselves within these different mediums. And whether that's my personal experience, because that's what I needed to experience for me, and that's what I saw, or whether it really was the truth. But it was very strange because I went to see, I've done some work with Tony Stockwell, who I really enjoy his teaching. It's good fun and it's really informative and really interactive. And I then, the teacher I went to see after that, it was almost like watching him again. It was bizarre, and neither of them had any connection.
Weird. Yeah.
So I feel that, like you say, even as a teacher, you start channeling as you're working anyway. And I think that's really important. Yeah. Great. All right, let's go for another person, Mr. Producer, if that's okay. You feel that's concluded, Kate?
Yeah.
A little conversation. Sorry, I don't want to take over. Very aware not to do that. Excellent. So if we can just have, has he gone to sleep? Hello.
I'm just going to turn my telly down because hang on, I've just 2 secs. Sorry.
That's all right.
I had it on a meditation thing, and then it was like, yeah, okay.
Well, why not? We could do it on Zoom, can't we? I don't know. Mr. Producer might know.
Yeah, I'll go on drums any day. That's one
I'll
of my
bring it
bucket
up.
things, actually. I'd love to do something on stage, drumming with a band.
Excellent. Well, when we're all unlocked, we'll arrange a special SPTV band.
Yeah, cool.
I'll do the screaming banshee bit. No, I'm joking. Hello, Letitia Ramirez from Iowa.
Hiya.
So I met my parents on Zoom yesterday, and we play a game every week. And yesterday it was find all the states in America, and I actually found Iowa. It's one of like 3, but I couldn't tell you where it is now. I was listening to my intuition for about 5 minutes, and then my brain kicked in and went, I've got to be really clever now.
Very slowly over each one until they said stop.
Left, no, up. It was good fun. I miss you guys. Do we know why Facebook isn't working, or why when we're going to be with YouTube? I don't. Facebook has no figurehead, and we don't know the reasoning, so we can't really supply such a solution at the moment. So we're going to continue broadcasting on YouTube for the present being. But as time goes on, YouTube will build, and actually as a format, as a worker, it's actually better. So yeah, get everyone to come to YouTube. It'll be fun. So, Mr. Producer, if you can choose someone, and we'll start another interactive story, because I don't know what you could call that. 3 is the magic number. Melissa. All right. So you have in your card, you have divine union. Now you have someone who looks, I would say, a Jesus figure. Now, this is really interesting because me and Kate were talking about this before the show. We've actually got a UFO in the background. We've got this Jesus figure. We've got this lady here. And the lady is just supporting. It's like it's the union. It's the 2 people. They're both wearing white. They both got their hair down. They're both very natural. And it's saying about sacred lineage, Melissa. So it's saying that you have Melissa? Did I say the wrong name? Okay, confused now. Confused.com. I'm not an advert, but I am very confused. Okay, so I want to say that there's something within you that you feel, there's something within your family that's very holy. There's something that you feel very connected to, but in a very gentle energy. And I also want to say to you that this relationship between the man and woman must be balanced. It feels that there needs to be support of yourself and support of the gentleman also. Now, I don't know if this is your partner, but the interesting thing they're drawing me to is this DNA strand here, which is within the hair. If I can just, you can see just within the hair, there's almost like the DNA pattern coming through with the lady. So I want to say that there's something within your family that is really affecting your present day. So something historic. Now, I read fairly recently, I think it was last year, that they have proven that DNA holds trauma. So there's something within your family's history that comes to the present day, which causes you a little bit of disharmony. It causes you a little bit of distrust, I feel is the word to use. So I do feel that there's a connection here with the past and the present and the future. And I really would like to leave it over to Kate, if she would like to elaborate on the connection with the little UFO in the background here, this couple and the divine union. If you could connect with anything you feel needs to be said, Kate, that would be lovely.
Right. Okay. So the connections with Jesus and the UFO in that incarnation that we knew Jesus as, he was Jesus. In incarnations, he's had incarnations previous to that, in which he's come from another planet. So they're trying to make the connection between sort of that and that. But again, like it's not so much that caught my attention, but it was the DNA strand, because you can work with your own DNA to change it. It is like a mutable thing. So it's kind of like that's what they're asking you to do, to work with your DNA. I don't know if you're into ETs and that already, but there is something called they're called divine encoders, and they work with sacred geometry, and they are basically it's difficult to explain. They're really small particles of light, and they're just waiting for a new direction to go in, and you can ask them to work with your DNA to structure it into something that would be more favourable. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you feel that meditation and like mindfulness and how you can change your mindset can change your DNA? Because I don't feel the person. I mean, there's lots of reasons. I did see a UFO when I was, I think, 15 or 16. My parents live in Warminster, which is famous for UFOs. And I saw one through the back of the house. And I have had an experience where I said to my mum once, "Oh, do you remember I woke up in that white room and they gave me that injection to calm me down?" Because it was like when I went for an operation, I thought, because I had a few as a child. And she said, "That never happened. I don't know what you're talking about." So, there's that going on as well. But certainly I feel that I am not the human structure that I was born into. And I wonder whether that working with mindfulness, working with reprogramming that, this world isn't all bad, and also understanding your own energy maybe is something that really strengthens your DNA. What do you feel on that, Kate?
Yeah, I mean, light codes and sacred geometry are a really good way to go forward. Find some light codes that you like. If you have a look at some writing, some Palladian light codes or Syrian light codes or Arcturian light codes, because they've got their own written language and it's quite easy to access on the internet now. So, go on there, see what resonates with you and work with those light codes.
I've got a bit of a controversial thing to ask you your opinion on, Kate. Is that okay?
Right.
You don't have to give me your opinion. Do you feel that some people use the word light codes as like a selling tool, as a tool that they're not necessarily bringing through light codes? Because I've seen people who I really feel it with, and then I've seen people that it seems like it's a bit of a buzzword. It's like the ascension, the awakening, all these buzzwords. None of which I use, but what do you feel on that, Kate?
Yeah. No, I understand where you're coming from on that.
Because
you either resonate with them or you don't, and I think it's not about 5D anymore. The fifth dimension. It's about the seventh dimension, because like the fifth dimension is old news now. So like it's sort of done and done.
Yeah.
But but people use talk about light codes in the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. And
but download your own symbols.
So is the idea with light codes, they can be from any planet, from any race? Is it their communication tool?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, it's really interesting. Really interesting. Yeah. And do you feel that you can connect with light codes with using crystals or using sacred objects?
Yeah, quartz is good for connecting with light codes.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you can get the crystal encoders as well. The gold crystal encoders, you can buy those. They're
I've
really
not
good.
seen those. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, they're one of the newer crystals to come out.
Great. I'll have a little look at those. I've not heard of those. Gold crystal encoders, you say?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. I also feel, I've got to say this, but that man looks like Tim Mitchkin. He's a comedian.
Okay.
And if anyone, Tim Mitchkin, if you have not seen, I don't know the story, so I'm not going to say it as truth, but he wrote a song or produced a song during lockdown, and it does look like he was in a position where he was stuck away from his family, and he's written this song, and he's a comedian. He's normally very funny and just witty, and it's a very serious, heartfelt ballad. It's amazing. It's got him sitting in the middle of an ocean on a rowing boat singing about being on his own. Please check it out. In fact, I'll find it later and put it on my own page because it's beautiful. My friend played it to me the other day, and it was, I'm not saying it's like Codes, but it had that energy of, like, you know, human connection. It was really, really gorgeous. So yeah, just feel that needs to be said.
I've got to mention auras quickly as well, because
please do.
Jesus works with auras.
Okay.
And they've shouted it at me twice. So I think, you know, if you can find a little meditation, you know, just for your aura, just make sure it's all in place and okay.
Should I be researching divine encoders? Melissa is asking.
Yep, you can do.
And you can all, like me and Kate was saying earlier, you can always go with your own intuition, your own pendulum, your inner pendulum. If it doesn't feel right, it might not be for you. It might be for someone else, but it might not be for you. And a bit of live and let live, because the thing that I'm sure Kate's in a similar boat, that as life goes on with your spiritual and your energy work, things get wackier and wackier, and you start thinking, 10 years ago, I thought they were complete loons. Or 20 years ago, and now look where I am. And you know, and there's some amazing things that can be experienced. I used to have an experience, I don't have it so much anymore, but when I was stepping into Indigo rather than Amy, because my birth name's Amy, and I've got another little story to say of that. I used to turn the tap on, and I'd hear someone talking to me as soon as I turned the tap on. So I'm connected definitely with water. And it would be calling Indigo, it wouldn't call Amy. So this is really interesting. I can't remember what they used to say, but it used to happen a lot when I had my 1111 moments coming up on the dials of things, and, you know, it was all interconnected. The other really interesting or interesting for me experience was in 2018, I signed up to have a studio, which I now use my bedroom. So I'm in a corner of my bedroom, but I had my own studio. And the lady I met through turning up at a mediumship demo, and my friend said, stand up, and it was all magical, wonderful, all set in motion as it should be. And she came into me, and she'd signed me up as Indigo Starssed as my room. And she came into me and she said, do you know what, Indigo? I've got a new guide. I've got a new alien called Amy. She just presented herself last night. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you couldn't make it up, could you? Couldn't make it up. So make what you think of it, but it's there's some interesting things that happen as you go down this path further, certainly. And I think there's strength in name, because the difference I feel being Indigo to being Amy is it's a completely different person. It's very, very interesting. Yeah. Anyway, shall we move on? Let me move on, because I'll go into my wormhole of thoughts. So if we can just flick through some comments. Is everyone enjoying our show today? It's a little bit different, but we like to change things up, and we also like to, you know, we need to work together. Us light workers or bringers of galactic information, I suppose, is more appropriate today, I think. It needs to work together. Having a conversation about food. Food is they? You're all food. You're all foodies. You're all foodies. I had the most beautiful salad, and I think salad's the best food ever. I really do.
I like salad.
I forget every now and then, and I make one, and I'm just like, oh, that's just so good.
Yeah.
So good. Awful if you're a turtle. Great if you're a turtle. Well, maybe we're turtles. Are you saying something? Saying we're reptilians? What are you saying? Is a turtle reptilian? I don't know. I'm going off on one. Hello, Christine Davis. I watched something earlier, I must say, for Kate, because she might be interested, might not. But I watched something earlier with a lady called Sheila French, who's a medium. And she's just done something that I believe has literally just been posted on YouTube. She's done an interview. She's working with universities to monitor the brain with mediumship and monitor the brain with schizophrenia. So looking at the difference. And part of it, she says that there's a part of the brain that's believed to be more reptilian that we're using as mediums. So that's really interesting information, because I really want to get someone to study me working. Because I've always felt there's something else. I don't know. She's working with university. She's working with universities, so it's information that she's received from the university that it's something within us that is. She's not. She's a scientist-minded person rather than a galactic-minded person, if I can put it that way.
We're hybrids of many different races, so I'm not surprised there'd be something reptilian in there.
Yeah.
We're a hybrid.
I thought it was really interesting, but like I say, do your own research, because it's really important that people find their own way and their own information. But I found her what she had to say was very interesting, and They were saying about working on the research so they can work with some schizophrenia. They can make the voice in the head, instead of saying nasty things like traditional schizophrenia, there's a element of it that they can reprogram so the voice says good things. So I don't quite understand it, but that's the theory. That's what's going on. So yeah. Please have a look, Lisa Paris. Sheila French, I found her really interesting. And I do like science. I just don't necessarily feel science always has the answers. I feel sometimes we can feel into the answers. The royal family are supposed to be reptiles. Well, that's another conversation, isn't it? Oh, my gosh.
That's a rabbit hole.
That's another conversation for another day. We'll see whether it comes up with the next reading. I'm going to read for Alison, because I feel that she stuck her neck out with that one. They'll be after you. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Lots of people.
I can get down that rabbit hole. Yeah.
It's a difficult one. So, Alison, I'd like to bring to you, you've got Empty Nest here. Okay, so you've got this lovely lady. I'm just going to read what it says and tell you what's saying on the card. Okay. So it's got, you hold in your heart a space to be filled. It's got a lady here with her bosoms out, and I don't feel that's anything sexual or sensual. It's more about being open with who you are, being completely naked with the truth of who you are and accepting who you are. She's holding within her hand like a bird's nest, and it's like the bird has left. And it's really feeling, Alison, this sense of, I'm going to say loneliness, but it's not loneliness, because we need to change it into aloneness. Loneliness and aloneness are two different things. With aloneness, you can work into things that you've always wanted to study. You can connect with people. You can explore. You can make a venture. You can do all sorts of exciting things. You can, if you want to have a partner, start that journey on the internet to reach out to someone. Ask the universe, bring what I need to my door. My own experience in 2019, we had a super moon, and I sent a universe the message, because I work with angelic abundance, which I did for the time very regularly, not so much now. I asked them to bring me a circle. I asked them to bring me spiritual friends that understood what the Henry I was talking about, because none of my friends did. And that evening, I got a message from someone on Facebook saying, do you know where you can do shaman drumming in Keynsham? That's the first time in 10 years of living here someone has mentioned anything spiritual or something slightly, out there, as we would say. It's not, but to some people it might be. That evening, we created Spiritual Friends, and it became a local network. So it might be something you want to do, Alison, is pull in local people who've got a similarity in beliefs and understanding. But it just says you hold in your heart a space to be filled. Now, sometimes we can feel like a partner is what we're missing in that space, but it never is. It's a part of you that needs to be filled. It's not from outside. This is internal. I'd like to move this on to Kate. I'll just describe, because there's a little bit of things you can't see so well. So we've got some fungi up in the corner. We've got a tree behind. I think we've got a reef on the head as well. It's almost like a maiden's reef. Got the empty nest, and she's wearing a very simple gown, very, very simple gown, and just looking down into the thoughts, possibly even scrying into that empty nest. I'll leave that with you, Kate, what you feel into that. It's a nest.
Right, so what's jumped into my head is getting out into nature. I don't know how much you are out in nature, but they are kind of showing me that you need to be out walking barefoot, and that is to connect in and become one with that kind of environment. They also show me that you could do possibly a bit of work with the heart chakra. Find yourself some music on YouTube that relates to the heart chakra, and do a meditation with that. And also, if you can carry some green crystals around with you, they show me that you could do with carrying some green crystals about. Prenite has just jumped into my head as being a good one, but I'm also looking at the Unakite. So yeah, I hope that's helpful.
Can you describe those for me, for Alison, Kate, because I do know the stones you're talking of, but could you describe them so she can identify them vaguely?
Right, okay, so Prenite is, I've got a bit around my neck, but there's no way you're going to be able to see that. Okay, so that's Prenite, and that heals the healer. I've worn this one for a really long time, but that's for healing the healer.
That's a great stone.
Which also goes with the green and the needing to be outside in nature. And it's kind of like they're showing me to get rid of all of your picture. That's like all your bad energy, just to release it out through your feet, undo the chakras in the bottom of your feet when you're out in the garden, and let all that energy come out down into the earth, because she loves that. And the other one is the other one's Unakite. I've just got to show them.
Yeah. I've got one about that small downstairs, exactly the same. It's tiny. I've got tiny. It's smaller than that one, but I've got one downstairs.
But yeah.
Oh.
Unakite, that one.
Got a little family of skulls, and crystal skulls are really interesting. That's another conversation for another day, maybe.
He sold that one. I think he was itching to get on there. So yeah, the other one's Unakite. Just grab yourself a bit of that as well.
Do you have any of those available in your shop at all? I don't know quite what you stock as in crystal.
I have some Unakite. I don't have any Prenite at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can always send that out. So find me on my Facebook page, Good Karma, and I can always send some out of the Unakite. That's not a problem. Just message me.
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to sort of see, have some of the crystal that's recommended.
Yeah.
That'd be really, yeah. It's a lovely stone. That I feel it's The Unikite especially. I haven't worked with Prenite so much. Is it Prenite or Prenite?
Prenite.
Prenite. I know
Yeah.
how it's shown. I just can't. I don't know how it's said. But the Unikite, I find is just really lovely for the heart chakra. I just find it such a. It's like
Really gentle.
It's not quite the cuddle of a rose quartz, but it's like a good friend that's going to tell you some good home truths. But they're going to tell you it because they really love you, because they really care, and it sort of brings things to the forefront that you need to deal with for your greater good. So yes, I think it's really important. Alison's just saying, I'll look your shop up. Yeah, you do need to look up Kate's shop because she's got lovely, lovely things. How do you spell the P crystal?
Prenite.
Prenite.
Yeah.
It's really smooth, that Prenite as well, because I have felt it. Yeah. It's got like a kind of waxy sort of luster. It's very lovely. Oh, I just love crystals. Yeah, I just love crystals.
Yeah, again, a bit of.
Oh, on that note, I've just been told we've got an amazing show on tomorrow, and it's an author as well as someone who works with crystals, isn't it? She's written about them. So if I can just introduce you to that. So we've got a crystal special tomorrow with Shirley O'Donoghue and a guest. And it's understanding crystals, what they're used for, and live readings. So I don't know whether she's reading from the crystals, using them with them. But yeah, it's certainly a way you can read very easily with crystals. You've got the colour, you've got the energy, you know, so much connection there. That's Tuesday tomorrow from 1 o'clock. And that's on this wonderful channel on YouTube. So look forward to trying to catch that. I'm not sure quite what my day's got involved tomorrow. But yes, we shall see. We shall see. So, yeah. So also this evening at 8 o'clock, we've got the lovely Matt and Kirsty Grogan, live mediumship and oracle card readings, and they answer your spiritual questions. If you get your spiritual question answered, then you get a mini reading. Very knowledgeable, really good fun people, and you'll really enjoy that show. I recommend you join in 8 o'clock tonight. Oh my gosh. And then tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we got Gillian Norma's show. They're known as the Scottish Psychic Artists, and they work with colour and feathers and really have had some amazing evidence of the soul continue on. I've not met these two yet. Ricky and Tyler, they look really good fun. The readings with a sparkle. There you go. There's your pixies.
Yeah.
Join Ricky and Tyler from Divine Sparkles for their new fortnightly show offering free readings. That's 10:30 tomorrow. Now, I know I'm free that time, so if I'm awake, I'll try and tune in myself. I'd love to see their work. And advance notice for a really special event. We've got a trance demonstration, which is a private event. It's paid for. We've got non-patrons, £10 a ticket, patrons £8, and angel members £5. All the information's there. So you've got www.paypal.me/SPTV live, and you pay through PayPal. And that's Polly Harnett and Leah Sheeb. I don't know how you say her surname. Chabib. And they're doing a trance demonstration. So if you haven't seen trance before, it's wonderful. They go into an altered state and they will bring through either their guides, either other spirits that work with them, or possibly sometimes family and friends. But we shall just see, because no one knows till the event. Very exciting. Not sure whether I'm afraid of that one. So it's going to be live in the studio using infrared cameras. See, look, I look as if I know what I'm doing. I'm just playing with the cards because I haven't got a clue how to shuffle. So bad, isn't it? So bad. But we've got to be honest about our failures, and then we can sort of work on them. And it's one thing I need to do in my lockdown time is learn to shuffle. So if I can just run through the comments, it'd be lovely to see how people are doing. If they've stopped talking about cake and pizza and lasagna or whatever they were talking about. How do you feel about Moldavite, Kate? Now that's an interesting question. I'll put that to Kate. That's an interesting question.
It's a really interesting crystal. I've got 3 pieces of Moldavite, and some people can really feel the effects of it, and some people don't, and I don't. So yeah, I mean, I love the feel of it. It's, you know, it's so ancient, and it's lovely to connect with, but I don't get that spinny thing with it that lots of people do get.
Yeah. I've got a piece about this small from Glastonbury. It's really small. In fact, I don't even know where it is, which is pretty naughty. But yeah, well, most of my crystals are hiding somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I do get floaty from it. It gives me the jasmine tea feeling. So jasmine tea makes me floaty as well.
Yeah.
And I don't find it horrible. But I have met people who can't actually wear Moldavite. It makes them go loop. It's almost like absolutely. E numbers with a child that's that can't have E numbers. But my late best friend used to wear Moldavite all the time, and she found it really anchoring. So, you know, I think it's a personal connection, isn't it? Yeah, but it does feel amazing. It feels so old and so out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never worn it for any length of time because I don't feel any particular sort of wow factor with it. Yeah, you know, I mean, I love it. I like the feeling of it, but it's not one of those that, I mean, I have more of an effect of Auralite 21. It's Auralite 21, isn't it?
I'm not sure of that one.
But again, like, you know, that's another new one. And I have more of an effect that affects me more than Moldavite does, and yet Moldavite is the really ancient one from another planet. So, don't know.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I would encourage people to do with crystals myself is just have a personal connection with them. You know, it's really important to not just read the books. Did you say feel sexy?
I've gone red now.
I told you the pixies are red. I've got a massive amethyst gold in my bedroom, and they're good for it. Sorry, I've been very, very naughty. Very naughty. It was something that sold it to me. And add on, I'm joking, but we got to have a laugh. It's important to have a laugh. So I'm going to work with Pamela because I feel that she really, like, I don't know whether she said that as a serious thing or whether it was like tongue in cheek, but it needed to be said, and it's really funny. So King Arthur's footprints are here. Oh, let me see if I can get it. It's because my green screen and most of the card is green. Okay. So we've got King Arthur here, and he's got a crown within his hands, and he's wearing a very simple dress. So he's wearing a dress of a peasant or a commoner. He has got a gold brooch, which certainly wouldn't have been a peasant or a commoner. But he's got this crown, he's about to put it on his head, and he's got all this light beaming around him. He's also got bare feet. So his bare feet are connecting him to the earth. And he's got onlookers. There's 2 people. Just see if Kate can see there. There's 2 people here that are robed and they're onlooking. So he's got some audience. In the background, you've got these gentle mountains, and there's some houses. And it's just a very lovely, gentle image. I believe it's actually of a place. There's so many places in the UK that are connected to King Arthur, but I do feel this is possibly where one of the stones is that's connected to King Arthur. I don't know if it's a long barrow. That's what I'm being told, but it's that kind of place where they would have a marker on the map for it, in fact. But it's saying King Arthur's footprint, and it's saying crown yourself. Pamela, I feel this is about an achievement. I feel this is about you stepping through your fear of being in front of the public eye. Now, I watched Pamela demo the other week. It was fantastic, and you will only grow. Do not compare yourself to anyone else, and know that your image, your not your image, your identity, sorry, is individual. You will never be the same. You'll never sound the same. You'll never have the same information come through. But I just feel that this light is really, oh, you were serious, bless you. I feel that this light was really beaming from you. And it just feels that you've shuttered off some stuff from your past, that you just needed to be Pam. You needed to be Pamela. You needed to not be the product of your upbringing or the product of your conditioning or the product of your condition. And that's what I feel is going on there. But it's saying crown yourself. It's saying be proud. You may well like, I wrote a poem about stand tall, which is, if you message me afterwards, Pamela, I'll send it to you. But it's all about mediums should stand tall, because it's a long journey to get there and stand in front of people and really do that work. Same with energy readers, but it's just written about mediums. But I'd like to share that with you afterwards, Pamela. If you can message me, that would be fantastic. If I can leave that with Kate and just see if there's anything she feels she wants to add on there. Special.
I think they're getting ready to move you forward. And you've got some upgrades coming. And when you get upgrades, you kind of level up a bit. And I think there's some new skills in the post for you. So, yeah, just keep an eye out for them.
And would you say the authenticity of following, being yourself is really important as well? Because I feel that there's the energy I get with it is like you look at other people and you go, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could be like that. But you've got to remember, every single medium, every single public speaking reader of any kind of form or energy worker at some point in their time will think that. And actually, I was really, and I've got to say the word proud, because I've worked really hard on, what my own journey, and everyone does. But I think it's important to acknowledge yourself and crown yourself. But in the summer, I read for someone in my mediumship private event that I do on my page, who I remember the first person I saw as a medium, and I went up to her and said, oh my gosh, I wish I could be like you. I was completely in fan zone. It was quite embarrassing in retrospect. But I just thought I could feel the energy of my grandfather. I could feel everything she was saying. I could feel the magic in the room, and that's what I wanted to be. And now it's important to acknowledge that you're never ever at the end of that journey, because I'm sure even when we transcend and we move on to another lifetime or another planet, wherever we go, we're always learning. It never finishes, but it's still okay to be proud of where you've got to and what you're doing. And like Kate says, know that things are going to change. I had a situation where, I saw clairvoyantly for quite a long time, but all of a sudden I started to be able to taste and smell. And that's because when you're working for spirit, you get rewarded, and you're also working that muscle. You're working that metaphysical, that physical muscle. I don't know which one. I'm not into the science knowledge of that. But I just feel that it's really important to know that things will develop, and even more than they have done. But look where you've come from, look where you are now, and be really proud of where you got to. Yes, I've got rid of my negative past. Yes, I'll message you. Thank you, Indigo and Kate. I try to be my own person. So important. So
yeah,
important.
I mean, I've been there when I first started going and doing development stuff. It was just, I had an absolute nightmare with it. But it turns out my skills are a bit different to what other people's skills are. So, it's really just a case of finding what you're good at and then focusing on that. I mean, it's like I never really got into mediumship stuff, but I really did like shamanic. So I went kind of down the healing route, So I started off with shamanic, which is sort of Syrian Palladian, and then I went all around the bushes to Egyptian and Tibetan and South American and everything else, but I always go full back circle to shamanic again. So I just I'm not good at stuff that other people are great at. It's just finding that, you know, where your gift is.
And I think it's really important, because one of the things that I kind of battle with myself as a working medium is that there's certain things within, you know, when you don't feel like you're the right shaped peg to go in the right shaped hole. But actually that's innovators. You know, people who go against the grain are the people who change things. You know, people who speak out their truth are the people who change things. And I think it's really important, because certainly myself, I felt very pressurized to be in a certain format, in a certain way. And I say, no, I'm pagan. You know, I don't not disrespect any Christianity or any belief, but my belief is in goddesses and gods and angels and all sorts of wonderful things. I don't really talk about it. But the point is that I can still do the work, but it can sometimes feel like you come against a discomfort with that. But as Kate was saying, it's about finding your own route. It's about developing what you do. And like, you know, even with writing my own course, it's because I need to teach in a way that I want to teach, rather than the way that necessarily everyone else teaches. So, you know, I think it's really, really important, that authenticity. Yeah. Thank you, Kate. That was lovely. Thank you. Oh, okay. Probably time for one more, I think. So if we can get a VIP, I feel, because we haven't done so. We've just done Pam. We've just done Pam. Okay, well, if we've done all VIPs, well, that's very lucky of you. Can we have a newbie then, please? Because that was choice. Is Andrea still here, please? The lovely Andrea. Let's see if, yeah, we'll just see if Andrea Minari is still here with us in this lovely sacred space. So just need to confirm if Andrea is still with us. I hope you've enjoyed our show today. I'm sure I've enjoyed it. I hope Kate has as well. It's been really lovely to interact and mix it up, change up the formats. I have to. I don't know about you, Kate, but I have to do it in my everyday life. I can't do anything in a routine. If I do things one way, I have to do them a different way. I can't do Groundhog Day. I lose interest completely. Even with like doing the washing up, I've got to do the washing up and then do something else. And then the next day I need to do it the other way around. Drives my boss nuts, because she's got OCD. So she wants me to do it all in a system. But I can't do that because it's I'm anti-system.
Yeah, no, I can't particularly do the hamster wheel particularly well. No.
Well, I only do it 3 days a week now, and it's a very fluid job. So I'm very, very blessed.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed, because there's not many jobs that I could do what I do alongside of. So wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, you know, shop home. So when I get to work, it's like I have to eat at a different time, or you know, make something different, or just do something just to change it up.
And what about like preparing your meals? Like people have these lists of like what they're going to have Monday, Tuesday. I can't do that. I need to eat. I need to eat what I feel like when I. No,
she's got a list of what's in her freezer.
Oh no!
Yes. And they plan their meals for the whole week, and they put it up on the fridge.
Oh,
bless them. I can't. No, we don't do that.
I think that I just think there's different makeups, and you know, me and Kate both have a resonance with shamanism, because that's what I'm trained in, some elements of that as well. And We just have a different. But live and let live. Yeah. Oh, Jessica Reeves, loving the readings between you two. Thank you very much. And they haven't blown up the screen, so it's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think if me and Kate were in the same room, it might be trouble.
Yes, possibly.
All right. So we got the healing of Avalon. Now, Avalon is Glastonbury, but it's not just Glastonbury. It's kind of the area around Glastonbury. It's where they believe Sir Arthur and his knights were residing. When you go to Glastonbury, if you ever have been, you can feel the energy. As an energy worker, you can feel the energy change when you're outside of Avalon to when you're inside Avalon. And it's almost like, it's a bit like the rainbow I've got above me, but it's almost like a see-through barrier, energy barrier, and you can feel the penetration. So it's a really quite amazing place. Now, Glastonbury has from one extreme to the other. So it has the most gentle things on planet Earth, and it has the most extreme crazy things on planet Earth. So it's that I remember Bill Bailey, I think it was, no, it wasn't Bill Bailey, it was the other guy that used to dress in women's clothes. Eddie Izzard had that thing of like cool, and then we go into not so cool, but a different word. It's a bit like that with Glastonbury, but it's each to their own. But the tour on top is the most lovely place. A couple of years ago, I had Mind Development Circle in Keynsham, and unfortunately, or fortunately, because I'm sure that there's method behind all this, because it's very difficult talking about passing, and I'm sure Kate probably feels a bit difficult also about it, because there's kind of a blessing in it, but a sadness in it as well, because I don't see it as the end, I see it as transformation. Anyway, I'm wibbling on. But one of my circle, unfortunately, or did, pass away, and myself and her went to, I think it was Cardiff, no, not Cardiff, Newport. We went to Newport and we did training on shape-shifting with a shaman there. We did just at one session, and we both I was changed into a wolf, I think, and she changed into a bear. And both of us didn't want to come back, but she didn't want to come back even more than me. And it was a really enlightening moment of her feeling like she fitted in. It was a very bizarre situation, because the Tuesday we had the shape-shifting, the Friday or the Thursday I took her to meet my shaman teacher, and a friend of mine used my shaman's wand, and we all had a wish. We all got granted a wish, and she passed away that Friday. So whether it was her choice or not, we don't judge, but that's just the story behind it. But we went to Glastonbury, I think it was May Day afterwards, and we went as a group, and we took our drums and we went to the top of the tour. And this woman was her energy was incredible. She's an incredible shaman somewhere else now, but her energy was amazing. And we got to the top of the tour, and we were going to do this little ceremony, and I got my drum, which is a big heavy drum, and I'm not kidding you, I pulled it out of the bag and it flew into the air. And it flew into the air from the top of the tour all the way to the bottom. No. It rolled like a donut on its side, and I just prayed, please drum be okay. And she managed to, because I had her cloak on, because I received her cloak from whatever reason, but I managed to, in a like Victorian outfit with this cloak, scramble all down the hill with it all tucked in my pants, because there's no way you could do it otherwise, retrieve my drum, and we all burst out laughing. And the story behind this was really that she wanted to bring the laughter. And we weren't sad, we were celebrating, but she just wanted to be part of it. So I really feel that there's belief in spontaneous healing as just saying that your loved ones are just the character they were, and they are doing funny things around you. I don't know whether you've noticed or you're yet to notice, but they're also bringing in the white horse for the strength here. And they're also bringing in this image of this lovely grail or this cup. And they're just saying, just make sure that your cup is full. Make sure you've got enough in your emotional bucket to deal with other people's stuff. And if you haven't, please ask them very kindly, I can't deal with this right now. I'm going to leave you with Kate to just see if she has something she'd like to connect with this. So we've got the Glastonbury tour on the top.
Yeah.
We've got the man and the woman. I don't know what's in the middle there. Oh, the horse. Forgotten already. And a white rose as well.
Right. Okay. So I had a jaguar and an eagle come through for you. So maybe a bit later on, you could have a look at those as totem animals and see if you can resonate with them. And also, it's I kind of felt like you need a little bit of time and space for you, you know. So instead of like giving out to people all the time, I know it's similar to what you said, but it was kind of like just because you were saying make sure the cup is full. That the cup full is for you. Do you know what I mean? Like you can keep giving to other people, but you need to make sure that your emotions and your well-being are catered for at the same time. So just keep a little bit for yourself.
And another way of kind of a similarity with that as well is to reflect on the inner child and consider, if you're looking at your inner child, what does it need to live? Well, it needs play, it needs nurture, it needs rest, it needs good food, it needs water, you know. So
nice flowers
sometimes
and
people,
wine.
And what?
Nice flowers and wine.
Absolutely. Big grown up a child. But it's very easy for people to think I'm not, you know, I don't need these things. But if you go backwards in your timeline to when you know, the basis of what you need, you still need that as an adult. But as Kate was saying, abundance with it as well. Enjoy yourself. Do something artistic, do something fun, do something frivolous, just do something for you. That's really, really important. I'd like to ask Kate if she would like to give a passing comment just to end with, if you feel that there's something that your guides or otherworldly friends would like to pass on, that would be lovely.
No, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So I think that on that note, we're just going to conclude. So thank you very much for being here. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I will see you back with Indigo's Oracle next Monday at 3:45. It's been an absolute pleasure, Kate. I've really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here.
Good. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's good. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
The spirit are kind, because they gave me the nod. So I follow where I'm led. All right. Yeah. Lots of love. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.